So you want to see the property, but you don't want to sign a buyer agent compensation agreement where you're giving away $30,000 to an Uber driver and they tell you, yeah, we'll get the seller to pay, but you realize in the end, because buyer agent compensation is not pre-negotiated by the listing agent anymore, any amount of money that you have going to your buyer agent, you could have just reduced your purchase price by that much. So every dollar you're paying your buyer's agent is out of your pocket, and you're like $25,000, $30,000 on $1 million home is just too much. So how do you get in to see the property? You can get in to see the property by calling up the listing agent and saying, after you establish why you're a good buyer for them, and then you say, well, can I see the property tomorrow at 4? And the listing agents might say, possibly, but are you represented by a buyer? Because it's already out on the net. I've already gotten heat for telling about this in comment sections. Listing agents are now saying, no, I'm not going to show you the property unless you're with a buyer's agent. Well, to me, that's a terrible response because they have a duty. When they agreed to sell the property for 2.5 or 3%, they didn't write in their contract, but I will not work with unrepresented buyers, because they actually have a clause in their contract that says they will work with unrepresented buyers for a certain amount of money. And they're not excluding that, saying, I'm never going to do that. So they have a duty to show the property. And so, you can talk with them with honey or vinegar and try to get them to show you the property, but they may or may not. And that's why if you're working with an attorney, we have multiple ways to get this done. We can do the honey approach, or we do the vinegar approach, or you could go out to the property and knock on the door and say, your listing agent's not selling this property. I mean, you have a lot of options. I don't recommend the vinegar approaches, but you could do it. But if you want to do the honey approach and get the listing agent on your team, that's why I have a buyer representation program at listingattorney.com. So listingattorney.com/homebuyer to see the rest of the videos in this series. Thank you.